Abraham, I'd like to mention 3 things in my life and then have you expand on them. I'll do it very quickly. First of all, a few years ago, you told me how to invest in the stock market and how to be within myself when I do that. And I have made $1.5 million since then. Second.
Clearly, you lined up energy before you took action.
You'll find out. Secondly, we had these 2 paintings that we've had all our life, and we've been married 52 years, and we became very attached to them, but we learned last year that that something like that went for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we brought them to New York, and then this spring when they went on auction, we went there and we were in ecstasy as they were being auctioned off. And the auctioning went on and on and on and on. And finally, we got close to $3 million for those. Number 3.
And he didn't deserve any of this. In terms of action.
Okay. I want to tell you something. About 32 years ago, I was 45 years old then, and my wife and I lived in a small town. I was in a family business. All of our families lived in that town. And we had 4 children, 3 of them in high school. And we made the announcement to our families that we were going to leave. We were going to give up everything there that we had. And we went and we connected ourselves with an ashram. And for 9 years, we lived in a semi-monastic life, learning the inner peace. And one of the things that were taught us in those 9 years were to live in the loveliness of every moment. To live in the loveliness of every moment. We lived a semi-monastic life because during that time we sent 4 children through college. And then after that, many years later, we met you, and you taught us how to take that inner peace and the inner self and use that in our outer self. And that's why I mentioned 1 and 2. So you can elaborate on that.
Well, we have a question for you, and it sort of springs forth from something that we talked about earlier. And that is, do you think that 1 and 2 in any way diminished 3?
No, but I want to continue 3. I want to continue the inner, although I have complete confidence in 1 and 2, continuing, and also number 3.
Well, we
3.
really like the way you have presented all of this, because you are living the manifestation of what happens when you take the time to become a vibrational match to who you are, and then everything that you've ever asked for comes into vibrational alignment. And we love the depiction of what happened because it expresses in such real terms the ease that we've been attempting to describe here today of what happens when you turn and allow the stream to carry you. So that discovery that you found long before you met us of that inner peace was your learning how to be in that flow. And then as you understand that there is nothing that your desires could do that would cause you to get out of the stream. In other words, when you understand the worthiness of your being and you understand the extension of source energy that you are, and you accept that as the basis of your life experience, then anything you apply your thoughts to must work out for you because you've tended to what matters most first. And we know, as we've been watching you, and we see everything that all of you are living. We know that you, both of you, work every single day to turn downstream over and over and over again. In other words, you didn't one time achieve inner peace and then it was just yours forevermore. It's a constant process of coming into alignment again and again as life continues to deliver to you more to think about. And so we're pleased that you have discovered how to come into alignment with who you are. And we're also happy to announce to you something that you already know. You said, I have complete confidence in it, that now that you have this knowledge, you will never be apart from it. And so anything that you want is now at your immediate fingertips.
Thank you. I know that what is further along in the downstream is going to be just as beautiful as what it was before.
And your capacity to experience it is expanding. In other words, there are things downstream that you couldn't fully comprehend this red hot minute. But enough life will be lived to get you ready for it so that when you live it, it will be that sweet moment that you've always been reaching for. The moments get sweeter and sweeter and sweeter, and your ability to endure them increases exponentially.
Thank you.
It happens, doesn't it? You get focused upon something that is important to you, that isn't going the way you want it to, or something that you've seen in the news, or something that you saw on a bumper sticker that triggered a thought. In other words, all kinds of things happen that trigger those thoughts. But by stopping and taking a beat and asking yourself, is this an upstream thought? In other words, does my inner being feel the way I'm feeling about this subject? And what you begin to notice is if you're appreciating, if you're praising, if you're looking for positive aspects, if you are complimenting yourself or someone else, if you are feeling good about the subject, if it's praiseworthy, if it's something that is in vibrational alignment with who you are, when you say it, you can feel that you've turned in the direction of source. You can feel that you're going with the flow. And if it is critical, if it is something that is critical about you or about someone else, if it's talking about the earth not going well, if it's talking about politics not going well, if it's talking about doomsday, if it's talking about the world not thriving, if it's talking about any of those things that humans get fixated on, that your inner beings know are not true, that your inner beings know that there is nothing in all of the universe that you need to worry about, when you get fixated on things like that, you separate yourself temporarily from who you are, and your negative emotion is the indication of it. The tricky thing with so many of you is that, not just you, we mean you, humans, dear hearts, is that you have been so commonly focused upstream because you've watched television, you've read the books, you've been in environments, you've talked about so many things that they feel normal to you, even though they don't feel good to you. And this is the thing that we want to awaken within you. We want you to understand that in terms of true normalcy, in terms of who you really are, if it doesn't feel really good, it isn't really normal. And there are many of you who say, oh, Abraham, come on, be real. There are bad things that are happening in this world. There are bad things that are happening, and isn't it my responsibility to give my attention to these bad things? And we say, yes, in fact it is. Yes, in fact, it's part of the reason that you wanted to come into this time-space reality, because you knew when you saw something that you considered to be a bad thing, that its good counterpart would occur to you. You knew that when you see something that you don't want, that what you do want would come. You knew that when you saw a problem, that you would ask for a solution. You knew that when you saw a tragedy, that you would ask for an improvement. You knew that when you saw a genocide, that you would ask for something more. You knew that when you saw starvation, that you would ask for people to be fed. And this world, with all of your technology and all of your interdimensionality and all of your ability to interact with one another so proficiently and in a timely manner, in other words, you have instant communication worldwide. There has never, in all of the universe, been a time where more dynamic creating has been going on. There has never been more asking than the likes of this human race at this time. which means the stream has never moved so fast, which means the potential of the ride of your life is upon you, and the potential to be bashed upon the rocks is upon you. In other words, look at what's happening in your environment. Even the newscasters are telling you now. The crevasse between those who have and those who have not is a stark contrast now. The sick are sicker than ever, and with all of this technology, and the well are weller than ever, and the poor are poorer than ever, and the prosperous are more prosperous than ever. In other words, the middle ground is going away. Lou Dobbs is very upset about that. And what he doesn't understand is that law of attraction amplifies wherever your vibration is. And as this stream moves faster and faster and faster, it really serves you to find a reason to go with the flow. And as this stream moves faster and faster, you feel the negative emotion stronger. In other words, you can't be paddling upstream in a fast-moving stream without it taking a greater toll on you. And so now you have a conscious awareness of the stream. In fact, you know everything. You just heard it. You now know who you are. You now know why you're here. You now know what to do. You will never again feel negative emotion and not know that you're pointed upstream. And this is the most important comment in the entire seminar. Being pointed upstream is just fine, because now you know what to do. Make peace with where you are. I am where I am. It doesn't matter where you put your boat in the stream. The stream is moving. And it's moving toward what you want. So it does not matter where you put in. What you're going to begin to understand as you begin to deliberately play this letting go of the oars and turning in the stream, what you're going to begin to understand is that this river will take you to everything that you want, but that life is going to cause you to keep asking for more. So you're not ever going to get it done. And if you begin to relax and enjoy the movement toward what you are wanting, oh, now we hear you say, oh, that's right, Abraham, you don't have rent to pay. You don't need food. So, of course, you're happy if we just think happy thoughts. And we say, really, we are. Because when you think happy thoughts, when you go with the flow, you're happy. And that's why you want everything anyway. There isn't anything you want for any other reason that you think you'll feel good when you get it. But when you are happy before you get it, then not only are you happy, which is the greatest trophy of all, but then you have to get it. People say, well, give it to me and then I'll be happy. You say, it doesn't work that way. You got to be happy and then you'll get it. Well, I would be happy if I had it, so can't you arrange it so that I get? And we say the vibration comes first. You have to line up with it first. And you've already done most of the work. You've lived the life which caused you to give birth to it. Source energy has become it and has created this powerful energy vortex that is summoning you. The call of source is so powerful. What does the call of source sound like, you say? Harps. The call of source doesn't sound, it feels. And the best word that we can give you so that you'll know that you're feeling the call of source or the call of your expanded being, the word is relief every time. If you're feeling fear and you let go of the thought, you're not going to go immediately to joy and ecstasy, but you will feel relief. If you're feeling frustration and you let go of the thought, you're not going to feel ecstasy, but you will feel relief. If you're feeling appreciation and you deliberately beat the drum of appreciation, there still is relief. There is no place in this stream from which you cannot find an improved vibration, because the expanded version of you is always downstream calling you. So as you are reaching for the better feeling thought, you're going to feel better and better and better and better and better. Well, we like that way of explaining this to you, because never before have we found such a clear, direct approach to helping you to understand how it is that you are the creator of your experience. You live in a universe that is based upon the law of attraction, but there is a duality in that you are source energy who always offers a powerful, pure, positive energy vibration.